from? Welcome to the Fatu Network, and this is the Spotlight. My name is Emel Drame. My guest today is Serif Emel Jarju, one of the few FIFA licensed football agents in the country. Today, Serif will tell us what actually motivated him to venture into a sports agency, what are the challenges that he is facing, and what plan he has for young players in the country. All in this 30 minutes of Spotlight here on the Fatu Network. Serif, welcome to the Fatu Network.
Thank you, Emel. It's my pleasure to be here, and then thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, let's start with this. Who is Serif?
Actually, my name is Sharif Muhammad Lamin, and you know about the Mandinkas, they always say Serifo, so people are used to calling me Serifo. Originally, I'm from eBanor, that is in Fonji Bintang Karanai, in West Coast region. Currently, I live in Seattle, Washington State, or the state of Washington, and then, yeah, I'm a FIFA licensed agent.
You live in the United States, and now you decided to venture into football agency. What is the name of your agency first?
What motivates me to become a football agent is just simple. I was watching a couple of games during the last AFCON, not this one, okay, the first one, yes, the first one that Gambia qualified. The talent that was at display, I was like, oh, okay, what are the things that we have in the country and what are the things that we don't have? So I realized that we have too many coaches, young coaches who are very good, and then we have too many football administrators, young ones who are very good, and we have passionate fans, and we have a lot of talents in the country. Then I asked myself, what is missing? Why are we not having these kids out there? And I realized that we have a couple of agents or scouts in the country. Then I asked myself, what can I add to the development of the Gambian sports, especially football? So that's when I started to venture into doing more research about becoming an agent. Then I decided to reach out to a couple of people. Then from there, I took some classes to prepare myself, to build my foundation. And then, yeah, so I decided to venture into sports agents and agency.
Yes, let us just drive back. Before you started this football agency stuff, what were you doing in the United States?
I was there as a student. I was doing my MBA from 2018 to 2020. Then after completing my MBA, then I moved with my family to Seattle. And then from there, I was working as a program manager for a supported living. We help people living with disability. That's what I do as my day-to-day work. Then from there, I started to venture into becoming an agent to find what are the things that I need to do to put me on the right direction so that I can be what I want to be.
So, like I said in the intro, we don't have so many FIFA registered or licensed football agents in the country. We can count them, and you are among the few that have the FIFA license to venture into football agency. How did you acquire this license?
It's a long journey. The first thing I did was ask people around, those who have experience or those who dealt with transferring players. I asked them about one or two questions, and they lead me to people who have been into the business of agent and agency job. Fala Bawa was the first person I contacted, and then he linked me to Molamin BI, who is my able boss, and then also to Sekou. And I've been talking with them, Marcia Mendy rather. And then there was a period of time I also spoke to the agent of Ibrahim Adabo. And then all these people, I kind of listened to them, asked them advice. Then from there, I applied for a school in Portland called Sports Management Worldwide. That's why I took my first agent class for like 6 weeks. I did it for like 6 weeks. It was 2 days in a week. After finishing that, I wanted to apply for a license, but I realized that FIFA was going to do the FIFA license agent exam. Then one of the lecturers of my that class called me last year when I was in Gambia, and then he told me that okay, he's organizing a prep class for exam. Then I took that class also. I paid a couple of dollars, like I think 500, and then that lasted all the way to April. Then I jet myself to Chicago. Before going to Chicago, I paid United States Soccer Federation, because everyone who's going to sit to the exam, you have to pay that amount of money so that they can prepare, they can facilitate it. Then I went to Chicago, sat the exam. It was in Ramadan, booked my flight, hotels, everything by myself. And then luckily I was among the 1,500 people out of 3,000 people who passed the exam. Yeah. So from there I paid the registration fee to FIFA, 600, and they issued me my license. So you can see, like, it took like a lot of steps before I can get my license, and a little bit of money was involved in it too.
So when you look at football and player development in the country, it is evolving, right? We have so many agents in the country. Some could be called intermediaries, but what is the significance of having this license that you have?
I mean, you know, before there were a lot of bad names or a lot of bad images when it comes to football agents and agencies, because players, other teams or team members, they think that agents, they manipulate the players and they make sure players don't sign the contract, or they overprice the player, or they charge a lot of like expensive agent fees. So FIFA are trying to regulate that. They want to make sure whoever is going to become an agent will do a lot of training and then be kind of like a little bit professional into the game. So that's when they introduce the license examination. I think it's important that everybody who wants to be an agent, you try to sit to the exam. And if you pass the exam, you have your license, because FIFA runs the world football. So it's important, whatever FIFA is saying that this is how you expect you to have your license, you try to make sure you do by all means to have the license. So I would encourage those who are there, whether they are agents, scouts, or intermediaries, they should try and get it, because it's important. In the next 2-3 years, if you don't have it, it will be very difficult for you to negotiate player contract or for you to represent players.
So I think, let me ask you this question. I think the players that are watching would love to hear this from you. Now, agents and players, who work for who?
That's an important question. Agents, we work for players. So we should be begging players to sign with us. Players should not be begging agents to sign with them. The scenario might be different in Gambia, because all the players, they want to go out, they want to be professionals. But what I know, as an agent, you go out there, look for the talent. If you see a talented player, you have to reach out to the player. Hey, I am satisfied with what I have seen, and I am interested in representing you. Can I become your agent? If the player is a minor, you have to reach out to their parents or their guardians and then negotiate on behalf of the player. If you have to sign a minor contract, if you have to sign a representative contract with a player who is a minor, the parents or the guardians, they need to be the ones signing the contract with you and also with the player. So that's how it works.
So basically, agents will work for players?
Yes, we work for players.
Not the other way around?
Nah, not the other way around. Whoever tells that is not true. We are working for for players. So our interest is when the player does good, it's good for us as agents, because it makes our job easier. It makes it easier for us to move the player to the next level.
If there is one thing that is working really well in Gambian football, is the transfer of our players from our domestic league to foreign leagues, be it in Europe or in recently in some part of Africa. So, as an agent, right now, have you started working with players in the country?
Yes. Players reach out, and then when I came here like 2-3 weeks ago, I watched a couple of players that I know that they are good enough to move to the next level. But my problem is I don't want to represent players if I don't have opportunity for them outside the country, because you're going to waste their time. So what I'm doing more of networking.
Okay.
You understand? But I do keep in touch with players. There is one player that I signed, how do I call it? I signed a contract with a player that, I forgot the word I'm going to be using. Yes, I signed a mandate with a player, 1 year mandate with a player. So I'm working with that player. And then we're trying to see how best, what is the possibility that we can help him to go to the next level. But apart from that, I'm still watching. I'm doing more scouting. I have got a couple of them. I wrote their names down. So the next thing is to do more networking and then start to market them and then see how best we can work together.
So maybe this will help a lot of us, including me. Like if you can tell us the roles of agents in this game. What are your roles? Are you limited to only negotiating contracts for players?
No. Agents, they have a lot of roles, but your key or your main role as an agent is to negotiate contract to the best interest of your player.
Okay. To the best interest of the player.
Of the player. Yes, to the best interest of the player. That's why you are there as an agent, because the player is busy going to train, getting ready physically, mentally, psychologically to get ready for the game. So you as an agent, you sit on behalf of the player to negotiate the contract to the best interest of the player, not the interest of you as an agent or the interest of the football club. No. You ask the player, what do you want? If the player wants A, B, C, or X, Y, and Z, me as an agent, that's what I'm going to represent to the team. Hey, my player or my client wants this and this and this. So that is one of the most important roles as an agent. Also, as an agent, you can do a PR role for your player. You understand? Sometimes some people do financial advisor to a player. These are all things that you can negotiate or discuss with your player and include it into your representative contract with a player.
Yeah, so let's move forward. As an agent, you have your own agency. I think we forgot about that. The name of your agency is eBanor Sports Agency.
Right.
Yeah, so what plans do we have for our players that are playing in the country?
The plan that I have is to always come here for scouting.
Okay.
Or bring in 1 or 2 people to come and scout with me.
Okay.
And then to see how best we can move them out of the country, so that they can have a stepping stone into their career path, okay, either in Africa, because African leagues, they are good. Okay. If we can have a team in Africa that plays in the African Champions League or African Confederation Cup, we will solely take it. Or if we can have a league outside Africa, Europe, Americas, we will take it.
Okay.
So, but we want to take our players to leagues that we know that will add to their development. It's not all about money most of the time. Mm-hmm. It's about how can that team help my player to develop and become one of the best players in Africa or in the world. If you give me a project for my player and I will sit and discuss with my player, this is what I have from team A. Okay. And we discuss what are the benefits in terms of your career development goals. What do you want to achieve as a player? So does the team have that can help you as a player to develop? Not only the financial aspect, but your career trajectory is very important. So this is why we want to help our players, help them, build them to that capacity.
Yeah, just to make this thing clear, you live in Seattle in the United States, but just to inform the viewers that you are a registered FIFA licensed agent, that you can represent players all over the world, not only in America. Now, we're talking about talents. Like I said before, if there is one thing that is, helping, or that is moving forward in our football, it is the, movement or transfer of our players from our domestic league to, to foreign leagues. How do you see talents in this country? Do you think, we have talents that can at least be of good value to the teams outside?
Yep, we have. You can see this year, since the season started, I can count about 5 to 10 players who have left the source of the country because they are good enough. Just check with BI how many players he moved. Check with other people how many players they moved. Chano Sambas, the Sekus, and there are other people who are moving players that we don't even know them. So that tells you that we have a lot of talented players in the country with proper management proper advice, proper working environment for them, obviously we will have the best of talents from this country to the best of leagues outside the country, either in the Premier Leagues, Bundesliga, Italian Serie A. I believe that there will be a Gambian who can become like African best player in the near future. Yeah, we just need to help them restructure our football when it comes to infrastructural development and others like that. Apart from that, we should be good.
So as an agent, especially working with Gambians, you don't only work with you don't only work with players, but you also work with clubs. As a football agent, what are some of the things that you think Gambian clubs and players need to work on in order to be where you believe Gambian players can be, in the near future?
I think the clubs, I will start with the clubs. The clubs, they need to start to work more professionally. They need to see the football as a business. And that being said, they need to put in structures whereby it will help the player to move from one place to another. The administrative side of the team, they need to also try to improve. I think videos, highlights, profiling of players is key, is important. To make our job easier as an agent, if we ask a team, hey, you have a player who is very good, can we have a video for the player? Oh, I'm sorry, we don't record the team, we don't record the game. It's important that we start to teach the players how to analyze football games by playing those videos to them. Hey, look at the video. This was how you were playing or positioning yourself last game. What should you do when a scenario like this happens? So in reality, you are preparing the players, to become a better professional player. Because if they go out as professional players, they do video analysis. All the teams outside there, they have video analysts. So they will sit you down, they will analyze the opponents, they will analyze your game individually, and they will analyze the team as a whole. So we here in the country, the teams, they need to start to work on that. And for players, I think they need to be more hungry. They are hungry, I know, but they need to be more hungry. What they need to do, if you want to be the Messis and the Ronaldos, after the game, you need to have a lot of personal training. There are certain aspects of your game you can't improve it when you are training with your team. You can only improve it when you have individual training by yourself with somebody or an individual coach who will help you how to work on certain aspects of your game. So they need to try to do that, and they need to relax more, drink more water, eat more, train hard, rest more. If you are not training, you are at home, try to sleep. Michael Essien used to do that. After training, you sleep more, you are up, you are re-energized, and then you can play more. But if you don't rest, you won't be successful in football. You have to rest a lot.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the clubs, that is the management part.
Yes.
They run the clubs, and then you also talk about the players. But you don't talk about the technical teams.
Yeah, for the technical team and the coaches, they need to upgrade or whatever is that, upgrade or update themselves periodically, because football is rapidly advancing every day. You having a license of, let's say, CAF A license 10 years ago is no more valid right now. We have a lot of good technicians out there. Think of the time of Sir Alex Ferguson. In UK, all what they believe in was 4-4-2, but now it's about 4-3-3 or 3-5-2 or 4-1-4-1. All this diamond formation. All these coaches, they are upgrading themselves every day. So Gambian coaches, they are doing good. They are trying, but I think they need to also work on that. They need to keep upgrading themselves, learn, buy books. If you cannot buy it, ask people who are outside there who can help you. Check with videos, update yourself, you understand? It will help you. And also those who have the academies, I think they have key responsibility, because they are very important in terms of development of players or young talents, because they need to know the basic of football.
Definitely.
If I don't know the basics of football, what am I going to teach the kids? All what we know, some of us, if we cannot play football, we say, okay, the manager coach, I'm going to be the coach. It doesn't work like that. You have to try to sit in the classroom, teach yourself, or go somewhere and learn, become a very good tactician. If you have the certificates, you need to do practical. Go to the other teams, be there as an intern, build yourself, capacitize yourself. That's going to help us a lot. If not, it's going to be very difficult.
You went to Tanzania.
Right.
And you went to Cape Verde as well. You are a Gambian. You were here even before going to Tanzania. You are back in the country. You are a Gambian. When it comes to domestic football, let's say Tanzania, they are way above the Gambia when it comes to domestic league. What is the difference between the two countries when it comes to football?
Tanzania, they see football as a business. Okay. And then what I mean about that is they invest a lot into their football. Their games are broadcasted. Azam TV, who has Azam Football Club there, is responsible for broadcasting. They have the TV right. Okay. So they broadcast all the games on TV. Even broadcasting the games on TV, people will go and watch. The stadium is full to capacity. You understand? The league is professionalized. Players get paid. Transfer fees are paid.
They are paid good money.
Yeah, they are paid good money. They live happily. They work hard. They play in the African Champions League. Their league last year was number 4 in Africa. This year is number 5 in Africa. Tanzanian league. You understand? So, really, football in Tanzania is just like religion in other countries. So, they have teams that they religiously follow those teams. Teams like Young Africans, okay, which is called Yanga, okay, Simba, Azam, okay, Singinda. Okay. Those are the teams those are the 4, and KMC. Okay. Yeah, those are the 4 big teams that in their country. But what I see there, if we have quarter of that here in this country, we'll go to the next level. I know that we are trying, but
what can we learn from them?
I think what we can learn from them is to try to help bring in more infrastructural development in the country. If the infrastructure is there, the capacity of the players will improve, the capacity of coaches will improve, football administrators also will improve, because you have the infrastructure in place already. So obviously that will motivate you to do more. We are doing our utmost best, but we need to add more. We need to kind of like set a standard that, okay, this is where we want to be in the next 5 years or the next 10 years. You understand? With that, I'm pretty sure Gambian football clubs will start to play in CAF Champions Leagues.
Sir, if compared to other countries, let us not even go far. Let's use Tanzania as an example. Do you think in the Gambia we have a long way to go?
I'm not going to say we have a long way to go, okay, because the talent that is exported in the country speaks volume. But in reality, if you come again, you want them to put in more work again. They are doing better, but we could have done more. You understand? Tanzania is there, and then 2027 they will be hosting the AFCON with Uganda and Kenya. Okay. So obviously, infrastructure-wise, they are above us. So if we can work on what we have right now, like renovate the parks, try to have 1 or 2 key stadiums or stadia, that will help a lot. We can close the gap with proper structures in place.
Yeah, when I went to Yamoussoukro,
yeah,
I was talking to one of my colleagues. When I saw the infrastructural development, the training fields and the pitches, I was asking him, when are we going to host a Cup of Nations? Then I look at what we have in the country. We don't even have a standard independent stadium. Standard stadium that can host CAF and FIFA games. So I think we have a long way to go, in the country. Now let's come back to your agency business. Like I said, we have a lot of agents, and then you may call some as well as intermediaries. What makes eBanor Sports Agency unique from other agencies?
The uniqueness of eBanor is because it's Gambian, number 1. It's new. It's a new baby, number 2. Okay. Number 3 is registered. It's a registered business in the United States, okay, with state of Washington. Another thing is verified with transfer market. Okay. You understand? And it is also the owner, the CEO, the proprietor is a registered FIFA licensed agent with FIFA. So all what we do is in connection with the rules and regulation of the game, you know, even with the laws of the country. You understand? We might be new, but we are coming to help. We are coming to work with anybody who is ready to work with us. And then our doors are open for partnership. Our doors are open for anybody who feels like they can contribute one or two things to eBanor Sports.
Is there any secret behind the name eBanor Sports?
Of course, there is secret.
Yes, what is that?
I'm from Sibanor.
Okay.
And I live in Everett. So the E is Everett.
Okay.
Everett is a city in Washington State,
Okay.
next to Seattle.
Okay.
The Banor is from the word Sibanor. So I removed the
okay.
C and I put the Banor there. So
Banor,
that's
yeah.
why it's called Everett Sibanor, so eBanor.
I think my Fonyinka people, you know I'm from Kenya, so Fonyinkas are my neighbors. So you have an agency here.
Yeah.
So like you said, you are a new baby. You are just starting, and what you are doing is networking.
Yep.
Trying to have contact with clubs and to see how best you can help their players and then in signing professional contracts. But you've been interacting with other agents like MLBI, who is also doing well, Sekou Sedi, and then other agents in the country and also intermediaries. Have you at one point asked them how hard or easy it is to market Gambian players, especially those that are playing in our league?
Yeah, I do. I will ask them almost every day. If I get stuck, I will ask them. I'll call.
Is it hard?
It is. I mean, people will see agents moving players, they'll be happy. But the work that is done behind scenes is mind-blowing, man. Sometimes you will send these people messages, they don't even reply you.
Teams, right?
Yep. When I was in America, sometimes I would wake up like 4 a.m. because the time difference.
Okay.
I would send like about 50 emails a day, maybe I'll have 1 or 2 replies. Yes. Or sometimes I will take numbers, I will call, they don't pick. I'll send messages on WhatsApp, they don't reply. So I just keep trying. You know, if you don't have the motivation to do the job, you will not do it. Okay. The football business in general is crazy. The funniest part is like you will build a network with somebody who is working at a team, let's say a sporting director or a chief scout, and you guys are ready to do something big together. Within two to 3 weeks, they sack the guy. Oh. So if they sack the guy, you have to start it again. And because the new person will come in, will have new ideas, will have new network, so you have to start again to build network with that person again. So that's why agent's job and agency is very difficult.
Yeah, so this may be a silly question, but I think I have to ask you this. You know, footballers are rich, right? Are football agents rich as well?
Last time, yes, before they were rich, yes, before.
Now?
When, what's his name, Pogba's agent, Minola. Okay. When Minola and Cristiano's agent, I forgot the name. Those people before, like there was, you don't have too many regulations. Okay. So they will charge a lot of like expensive agent fees, like millions of pounds or dollars, okay, so that they can move their players. But now FIFA is trying to regulate everything. You understand? As an agent, all the agent fees, they want to regulate it. Okay. So, I mean, there's money there. I mean, if you have more than one client or more than one player playing in the top leagues, yes, there is a little bit of money in there. But footballers, they have more money.
But if you are an agent, let's say a Gambian agent, you know, helping Gambian players or marketing Gambian players, you know, do you get fortune in return?
I haven't represented any yet, but when I spoke to someone, he told me that he will move players and he will never take commissions on their wages. Okay. But as an agent, you get paid based on what the player earns. Okay. Yes. So the player needs to pay you because you are working, you are doing service for the player. So when you move the player and the player gets paid, you take certain percentage, maybe about 3%, 5%. From the player's wages. Yes, or 10%. So sometimes with that, you ask the team to pay that percentage. You don't ask the player to pay. You can negotiate that. If the player is earning a little bit of money, it's not that much. Yeah, the team can pay on behalf of the player. Yeah.
So finally, I know there are a lot of people that want to be football agents because of football now. Like I said, it is beyond only game. It is an enterprise. If you have a word of advice to them, what would that advice be?
My advice to anybody who wants to be an agent: do not use the shortcut. Today you might be successful, tomorrow you might not. Because the way FIFA is working, They want to make sure everything is standardized. Ask questions, do more research, have a little bit of money, because the agent examination, you have to pay a little bit of money, and then study hard. The materials for study is free from FIFA, you understand, and then you should be fine. Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much, Serif Emel Jarju, or shall I say Serif Mohammed? Jarju.
People call me Sirifo most of the time.
Sirifo, yeah. Yes, CEO, eBanor Sports Agency, and also a FIFA licensed football agent. Thank you so very much for coming to the Fatu Network to talk about your work, the plans that we have for our players in the country, and then your view about the evolution of football in the country. This is very important. So if you are a player and then you want to have an agency that will represent you, you can always reach out to eBanor Sports Agency, and then Serif and his team will be ready to help you out. Like I said, I think I have to repeat this. If there is anything that is working for Gambia in our football, it is the transfer of our players from our domestic league to foreign leagues. I hope this continues, and then in the next or in the near future, we'll have our players playing in top leagues in Europe. That is our wish. That is what we want, and it is possible with the right infrastructure and then the right structure in our clubs. So thank you so very much. Like I said, I've been your host, Mohamed Lamin Drame, and this is the Spotlight. Continue following and watching the Gambia's biggest online news outlet, the Fatu Network. Thank you so very much. Wherever you are watching us from, welcome to the Fatu Network, and this is the Spotlight. My name is Emel Drame. My guest today is Serif Emel Jarju, one of the few FIFA licensed football agents in the country. Today, Serif will tell us